5 males with an X-linked genetic disorder have one child each. The random variable X is the number of children among the 5 who inherit the X-linked genetic disorder. Determine whether a probability distribution is given. If a probability distribution is given, find its mean and standard deviation. If a probability distribution is not given, identify the requirements that are not satisfied. Now, the requirements for every probability distribution are going to be listed below. Here's our probability distribution. We have X, which has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the probability of X is the following values. So, first and foremost, the first requirement is that there is a numerical, not categorical, random variable X, and its number of values are associated with corresponding probabilities. If we take a look at that here, we can see that 0 to 5 is a numerical random variable X, and then it has a corresponding probability. Number 2, when we add the sum of the probabilities, it should equal 1, where X assumes all possible values. Now, the sum of all probabilities must be 1, but sums such as 0.999 and 1.001 are acceptable because they result from rounding errors. And then third is that the probability of X should be in between 0 and 1 for every individual value of the random variable X. And that is, each probability value must be between 0 and 1 inclusive. So if we take a look at here, each one of those probabilities are in between 0 and 1. Okay, so first and foremost, we talked about the random variable X, and you can see that the random variable X is a numerical because X takes on the integer values from 0 to 5 inclusive. Okay, the number of values are associated with the probabilities because each value of X has a corresponding value of the probability of X in the next column. And then we're going to determine the sum of the probabilities. So let's go ahead and do that. So to find the sum of the probabilities, okay, we need to add up all these probabilities. So when we add up all those probabilities, we end up getting the value of 1. And we also know that each probability value is in between 0 and 1 inclusive. Therefore, all the requirements are met. Thus, the table shows a probability distribution. Now we're going to go ahead and find out what the mean and the standard deviation is of this distribution. Now, keep in mind here that with your written assignments, you're going to be doing this by hand by making a table. Now, in this case here, we're going to find the mean and the standard deviation using StatCrunch. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open up this distribution in StatCrunch. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up in the StatCrunch. Okay, let's try it again. Alright, so now we have our X column, and then we have our probability. So we're going to go to Stat, and then we're going to Calculators. And we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says Custom. So we're going to go ahead and select Custom. And then the values in is going to be the X column. The weights in are going to be the probability of X. Now I'm going to go ahead and select Compute. Now here it's going to show the custom calculator. It's going to show what that distribution looks like. And down here it's going to say what the mean is in a standard deviation. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this on our work that we've done so far. So here you can see that the mean is 2.5 and the standard deviation is 1.0981803. So we can see that the mean is equal to 2.5, and then the standard deviation, we're going to round this to 1 decimal place. So that means here's our rounding digit, and then this is our testing digit, which is 9. So therefore, we end up getting 1.1. So therefore, there's our mean, and there's our standard deviation.